Hello, I'm Dr. Heidi Horsley, Executive Director for the Open to Hope Foundation, and I'm here today with Dr. Donna Bacon. Donna, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the field of grief and loss?
I started in the field because of personal losses that I experienced. When I was 4 years old, my mom died of breast cancer. She was 34. My twin sister and I went to live with my grandparents. We went to live with 2 uncles and 2 aunts. And by the time we were 16, we had lost all of them to different things. My grandmother had a massive heart attack at home. My uncle was murdered. My aunt died of HIV and AIDS. She contracted the virus from her first sexual partner. She died at 26. I had another uncle who had lung cancer, and my grandfather also died of lung cancer. So at 16, my twin sister and I were basically on our own. And I went to college. I had one guidance counselor. I was just destitute. I didn't know how to deal with my loss. There weren't programs, there weren't groups, and I struggled for a very long time, and I just wanted to stay in school because I was a good student. And I bounced around a few places. I was with an aunt who did not want me there, so it was a very hostile environment. Her husband was very, very abusive to my twin sister and I. So one guidance counselor said to me, he said, "Go to college." And it had never occurred to me. It just didn't occur to me, but it gave me something to hold on to. So I went to college. I was 16, almost 17, and I just stayed there, and I worked on a hotline from midnight to 9 o'clock, a domestic violence hotline. I worked, I became an RA, and I just really held on. And I think that what really helped get me through was through the losses. I remember thinking, wow, I'm here in college. I didn't even have sheets on my bed, literally. I didn't have sheets on my bed. And I remember thinking, my mother never got to do this. My aunt never got to do this. My grandmother didn't have the opportunity to do this. How dare I not live those dreams for them? And I just held on to that, and I did it in their name. And I remember thinking, what was my purpose? Why was I here? One was to take care of my twin sister because she didn't deal with the losses the way I did. She kind of, she struggled for a very long time. So I took care of her. I took on a mother role for her. So that gave me purpose. And I was just thinking, what if the purpose of my family was for me to be a successful woman? What if that was their purpose? What if that's why they were here? And how could I not fulfill that in every way possible? So I just used the pain to propel me forward and to excel. And when I was a sophomore, I took a course called Grieving and Dying in America, Joan Atwood, and it just changed my life. I understood that I wasn't alone, that I was experiencing stair-step grief, that the feelings I had were normal, and I had never received that message. I just hadn't. And similar, and what does happen in the African American community, no one spoke about death. Even when my mother died, we just did not speak about it. Her name was never mentioned. And I got the message very early on that to mention her name was pain to my grandmother, so I never mentioned her name. I realized that for my story, there were hundreds of stories like that, and that led me to come into this field. So I got my BA in psychology, my master's degree in social work. I became a licensed clinical social worker. I ran support groups for women who had HIV and AIDS. I got another master's degree in health education, so I started to teach in a college, and then I got my doctorate in human behavior studies that kind of brought everything together with a specialization in thanatological studies.
Donna, you are such an inspiration, and you are such a lifeline to so many out there who do not know how they're going to find hope. Donna went on to get a doctorate from Columbia University, and now she's working with people saying, look, if you've lost hope, please lean on mine. I've made it, and so can you. And Donna, how can people get a hold of you if they want to work with you?
You can reach me at Nassau Community College. My email is Donna, DONNA, .Bacon, BACON, at ncc.edu. That's nancycat.edu. I'd be happy to speak to anyone who would like to speak to me.
Wow. Please reach out to Dr. Donna Bacon. Donna, you're an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And this is Dr. Heidi Horsley for the Open to Hope Foundation.